Hi, welcome to the Pursuit of Truth. I've tried to make this video several times and then just deleted it a few days ago. I was walking to work and I started to make the video talking about Des Sheeps and Eeps, but because I'd been thinking about him a lot the last few days, especially at night, because we haven't heard anything for some time from Brent, who keeps us updated, and then I decided, no, I can't make the video. And so Brent put another video recently saying that he was back in the hospital, and it's he already said it was on heavy morphine, so it must be a lot of pain. And just and Brent gave me the message that he wanted, he tried to contact but he couldn't. That shows how bad he is. It just is difficult to it's just so bad and unfair that this is happening. I was just watching a program on YouTube, Ian Crane, which actually Sheeps and Eeps was the one who introduced me to that on his channel, and he was talking to David Noakes and was another name, John Smith, I think. They were talking about the GCMAF case that's still continuing, lawful fiction, all that kind of stuff. And when you listen to this, it just is. It's that, well, first, like, your instincts are to think that no, this can't be possible. How would anyone, because not Ian Crane, Noakes is suggesting that 2 million people could have died, and this has been hidden for 25 years. And it is there's some studies that have suggested that it can actually cure some cancers. And I mean, I haven't seen the data, so yeah, no, I'm relying upon their word. But then I know that anyone listening to this who's not a truther will think, wow, how can you possibly do that? But you don't realise that you do it every day. That's how humans work. There is no divinity in humanity, as it were. We rely on each other's communications to one another. When you listen to the BBC and Sky, you're trusting in them. Now, yes, a non-truther is going to say, oh yeah, that's because they're trustworthy and they verify everything. But we all know, even those who are non-truthers know that. I know it's an unfortunate title, isn't it? But you know what I'm trying to say. They know that the media has lied, people lie, politicians lie. Look at the expense scandal. Look at the Iraq-Afghanistan war. There's lots of cases where, and some people are unwittingly lying in the sense that they don't know. Like in Iraq and Afghanistan, there may have been journalists that went there and believed that what they saw, even soldiers that went and killed people there, that believed what they were doing was for a good cause. I mean, a lot of it is also to do with the system that we live within, the brainwashing that we get as human beings, that this is the only way we can live, and that we must live in this segregation, we must live in this place where everything has a label that we've made ourselves. A tree isn't a tree. We called it that. Every country has a name for itself. Every person is given a name. We don't know why we're here and what we're doing. We're just living this Monopoly game's rules that we've made up ourselves. And most of us never think about that this system, this way of living is just one of many ways, and one of many ways that historically has changed over the years through different species, tribes, different places, different times. We've always adapted and lived differently by different laws, different rules, and that'll keep on going. But it's just so wrong that if this is the case, if there is this GCMAF, if it is true, then why are there not people in the medical industry, in the pharmaceutical companies, wanting to do this, to check it, to verify it, to give it to people? And obviously the reason is because their chemotherapy and radiotherapy that they're invested in, and maybe they don't own the patent to GC-MAF, or maybe it's too natural that they can't synthesize it, and if they do synthesize it, then it's not going to work. And these days, I know, like if you turned on Sky News yesterday, they were talking about vaccinations, and they were coming out with all sorts of data that was, they talk about world data, whereas, they should be talking about, the country that they're in, UK data, how many people die of this, that, and the other, and, trying to make out that the internet is bad because it's where, truth is getting distorted and we're all, lying. I mean, I don't know anymore, since my eyes have been opened to these things, who to believe, but I'm pretty sure that the mainstream, the things that are being taught to us, they're not true, or there's enough lies within them to make a normal person with sane views doubt what they're being taught. I just don't know when it'll ever be a state when people will challenge these things rather than just going day to day the normal life that they're going. Because that's part of the problem, that's part of the reason why this is continuing, why they have that power to lie to us all and take over our lives. Because I was thinking about, Dares, Sheeps and Neeps, because obviously, the question of mortality comes up when you think about his condition and where he is now and what he must be going through, and it was making me think that how, in his position, how he must be thinking, because I noticed that is on Monday it's Scottish bank holiday, how it means nothing now. And through your life we all go through different trials where we think, oh my God, how am I going to get over this, and paying back a loan or a debt or losing a job or all these sorts of things, and then you worry about them and they take over your life and your time for an amount, and then they go and then another thing happens, and etc. But when you're at the end, you must be thinking, well, what was all of it about? Why did I worry so much? Why did I let people dictate to me everything that I did? Why did I waste all my time working and living someone else's dream and keeping a system alive that I don't even believe in? But the problem is that is the most truthful, sanest thing that you think, but unfortunately it's at the end and there's nothing you can do. Because it's too late. Because then you realise there was nothing to worry about. You were given this existence to live, to enjoy, and it's been monopolised. You are a slave of this system that wants you to not challenge anything, that wants you to believe everything that you're told, and anyone that challenges that, despite their honesty, or I don't know lots of things, and I'm honest in saying that, I don't know whether vaccinations are good or bad. I take vaccinations even when I go to South Africa. Like I said, I know I mentioned this many times, even though I'm taking a vaccination that the people living there are not taking, and there's nothing happening to them. Like, my wife was born in South Africa and she never had these vaccinations, but now she's in the UK and goes back, they tell her you should take these vaccinations. But her sister, who's still there, won't be having them, and nothing happens. And I know that's not proof of anything, but what I'm trying to say is that, I don't know, but what I do know is when things don't sound right, when people won't even, like on Sky News, they give you lots of facts and data and lots of the statistics. Anyone knows anything about statistics knows how easy it is to warp them and how inaccurate they are and how you can make any agenda out of them. But the fact that they were never challenge the questions that, when I hear YouTube and I hear people talking about vaccinations, at the beginning I was very wary of it, especially to do with the medical side of things, because it could have an impact on people's lives. But when they talk about this data, then I have to think about it. I don't just say, I'm not going to believe it, I'm not even going to challenge it. I'm going to think, wait a minute, why is there mercury? What is the reason for that? I mean, if I can have those thoughts, those honest thoughts, and thinking about these things, why are the people of the professions not actually entertaining it? Why are they not explaining it nicely then? They could, if they believe that they have the answers to these things, they could simply end this by saying, having a person who is a reasonable person who believes not against vaccinations, and having a reasonable so-called, say, scientist And then the scientists explaining, oh no, the mercury is, it's a small amount, it does this, it does that, and then, they can make their claims against each other. But I know that would never happen, because both sides would be would be just attacking each other, and that's part of it, and part of that is staged just to keep us in this ignorance. Because if we wanted to live in a society where truth reigned, and we would be able to ask these questions, we wouldn't even be in this situation, would we? But the problem is, we know we live in a planet, or a world, realm, whatever you want to call this place, where lies reign. We all know humans are capable of lies. We tell them, even those truthers tell lies all the time, most of us not even realizing that we're lying. I don't know, I've talked about so many things in this, and I think I'm just frustrated with seeing this Ian R. Crane thing about GC math, and how it's been hidden, and how the courts are not following their own procedures, and how easy it is to con human beings. We are very malleable. I was watching a film, J.R.R. Tolkien. The film's called Tolkien, and it was about it shows him when he was fighting in the war, the First World War, and I was talking to my dad about how stupid that was. How any sane person, they had a bit of land that wasn't even their land, Germans in England and France, fighting over a bit of land, moving square inches, thousands of people dying every single day. For what? I mean, and people, like my dad said, people volunteered for that who were underage, that they wanted to go there. That's how people were able to be tricked into thinking there's some kind of valor in dying for a piece of land that's your own anyway. All of us, we own everything. It just goes to show how easy it is to fool us all. And I don't understand why we don't realise that, because we've got many examples like the one I just given of proof where we've been programmed to think things that you shouldn't know that is so wrong. But if there'd be a war tomorrow, there'd be so many people lining up to go and fight it. I don't know what that says about us. Anyway, I don't know if Des is still able to listen to these or not, but if you are listening, Des, much love to you, and I wish there was something we could all do. It's not fair what's happened to you, and I just want to thank you for all the streams, all the truths that you taught all of us, and me in particular, and I really don't know what to say. It just seems so... I just want to say I'm sorry, and just thank you for everything. I just hope that there can be some kind of miraculous recovery. You're so strong, the battle that you fought, and obviously to Bren as well, and to your partners at Kit Kat. I'm not sure the account name. It must be very difficult this time, but especially for you. And you stood up and you fought so hard, and no one can fault you for that. If there were people helping you, in the medical industry, that could test these things and find out which things worked and which didn't, then we might not be in this situation. Unfortunately, until there's that kind of understanding of whether the problem is it's a pharmaceutical company, is never going to happen, but because everything's about making money, and that's the problem. That money aspect, whilst money is involved, we'll always have this problem. Take care, take it easy, God bless, and peace.